Hey, and welcome to the timelines exercise. Now, the timelines exercise you can use for many different things. And we're doing it today in my kitchen, so we may get some furry visitors, and I'm sure you'll see them long before I do. Now, the great thing about the timelines exercise is it enables you to get lots and lots of stuff out of your head for, as I say, whatever purpose you're using it for. So you need a number of things. I always use a roll of brown paper because it's so versatile. I can start at one end and I can just keep unrolling and rolling and rolling. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. So I find it better to be somewhere where I've got a good flat surface and hopefully I don't get interrupted too much. So we start off in terms of the timeline is getting out as much stuff as possible. So in terms of getting prepared, we've got a roll of brown paper and at the top we write a number of years. So 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, etc, etc. And I do it in blocks of 10 to however old you are. And then I just draw a line between each of those so that I've got some kind of cut-off point. Now, the other thing that I bring for this is I have a sheet which I call my life areas, and it's got things like career and business, financial, health and well-being, personal growth, etc, etc. So that is really just to guide me to make sure that I get stuff out. Now, other things I have is one very old CV and one more up to date. And I've got my CV because it gives me a time frame to see where I was and what was going on. Now, if I'm working on my business and I'm looking at how do I create this business that I love, what are those, what's the knowledge, skills and experience that I want to bring forward into a business going forward? And likewise, if I'm going to write a book, what are those transferable skills that I've got that I can use in terms of helping me write the book? Now, if I was doing this for a Writing to Heal and I was going to be doing journaling and things, what I might find is as I put down different jobs, different people, relationships, there may be a bullying that have gone on, there might be a pattern to something. So the CVs are just great in terms of giving you a time perspective so that you can look at knowledge, skills and experiences, but experiences that you may have liked or not liked when you were in the workplace. Then the other thing that I bring is any journals that are relevant for whatever period. Now, I use the journal both for making notes of things that come up, but I also use it to reference things. Now, you may well have chucked lots of your journals away, but if you haven't, then bring them along. I've also got my medical file because let's say I'm writing a book about something that has happened to me and it's something I'm going to base my business on, then what's happened to me medically in terms of tests, results, any kind of research that I've done, I want to put that on there. You may bring your computer, you might want to look at photographs, so you bring to the table, as it were, everything that you think is going to prove useful for the timelines exercise. So keeping this handy, and you can either use post-it notes or you can get yourself lots and lots of coloured pens. I adore coloured pens, as you can tell, and you just start. So use that as a guide and you just write down whatever comes into your head. Then what you might want to do is take some time out to reflect, and when you come back from your reflection period, think of what is the purpose of me doing a timeline. Am I looking at a theme for a book? Am I looking at building my brand, my business, or is it something, I'm trying to do some healing work? What is it that I am specifically looking for? So let's say that I wanted to move out of a corporate role and I wanted to set up my own business. Well, then I would very much come to my career area and I would look at What were the jobs that I did and what did I love about them? What kind of skills did I bring? What things did I enjoy doing? So I know I always enjoyed anything that was in a mess. I like to create a process, make it more efficient, and I love finding and implementing new ideas. So when I know that, I might want to write some of those things on post-it notes that I can use for something else. If I'm writing a book and it's a healing book, what I might have over here is the period in which I was ill. And then what I might do is come back in time and say, right, given that particular illness, what do I think contributed to it? Now, we often see an illness as something that happens in the now, and lots of people don't come back and review really the stuff from their past. But by reviewing the stuff from the past, you can then start making connections to why here. So if you're writing a book, what you then might want to do is, once you've got all of this out, is get your post-it notes and go, right, that and that go in chapter 1. This bit go in chapter 5, this whatever. So then you can start to see how you can bring your story together once you have got your outline for your book. Once you've done this, one of the things that I find immensely helpful, and I do this several times because this is not a one-off activity, I will keep coming back to this and coming back to this as things occur. For example, I got osteoporosis from a trauma that triggered shingles, that raised prolactin, that took estrogen away, I know, long story, cut very short, that then robbed my bones. And came up on my Facebook timeline the other day that at some point over here I'd had cellulitis, and over here I'd previously had shingles, and I started to look back, and over here I had chicken pox. And although I can't remember all of the kind of virally infection things that I've had over the years, it triggered something that enabled me to come back to my timeline and add those things in that I'd completely forgotten about. So that when I come back to editing a book that I am actually currently writing on, I have got more things to connect together. So, using a mobile phone, use your mobile phone recorder, record what comes up for you in relation to what it is you're doing the timeline for. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if stuff comes up that you weren't expecting, so just go with it. In this next part of our timelines exercise, we've had our reflection period and we've recorded some stuff on our mobile phone, and now what we're going to do is start to mind map those things that are important. So whatever it is that we are doing the timeline for. So if I'm doing this for my osteoporosis book, I have made my connections by looking at this. I've done some talking into my mobile phone to get things out, and then I'm simply creating a mind map of things that come to me as I listen to the recording. And then what I do from there is dig out my journal and then start to make some notes of, again, whatever comes up for me. From here, I can then move into, if I'm writing a book, my planning process. If I'm doing this for creating a business and a brand, then again, it's where does this fit in where I am with my planning process. And if I'm doing this as a healing, a writing to heal opportunity, then I can use this to sit in bed at night and journal. So you can see that your timelines exercise is immensely useful and very, very powerful in getting lots and lots of stuff out and enabling you to move your processes forward.